Oh yeah, me again. Well, I thought this one I'd use for like a question and answers because I've had quite a few questions on different aspects of how I did the bike. So I should have wrote them down, perhaps, because that way I'd remember them all. But here's just a few that I can remember. Okay. Right. First question was about the light, my front light bracket that I can remember because I only got that one today. But you'll be seeing this in a few weeks' time. So anyway, by the time I edit, upload, and all that sort of stuff, if you know what I mean. So anyway, let's crack on into it. So anyway, first one I can remember is about this light. How did I fit the lights to my bike? And hopefully you can see from this angle. You'll see this bracket up under here. So you can buy a proper fitting that goes up in, but all I do is tip my bike upside down and fire a star nut up in, which ends somewhere around about this area. And then I just get a long bolt, put the bolt up through, and then I build my own metal bracket. Look, you see what I mean? So I'm still using this part, the part the light connects to. I saw it off and I put myself a nut and bolt, or just a bolt through like that, and that makes it solid enough and I get no movement. So yeah, I just have to mess around a little bit with the angle of this to get it right, so it's not in everybody's face, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so that's how I do the bracket for my lights. Don't really see it any better from that angle or not, but yeah, so that's that one. You might be able to see the bolt thing from there. I'm not sure whether you can or whether this one, because I'm using the GoPro 12 here, so I don't know whether the zoom part of it is any good, because basically this is my first video using this camera. So yeah, second question was, that I can remember, someone asked me, how did I get this to fit through? Because they couldn't. Now, I explained it when I fitted this in this bike, that there was a join in this motor where they'd added on the extra 50mm or 20mm or something, whatever, anyway. But there was like a lump in the join. So I had to sand out parts of where the welding is. But yeah, that's how I got it in there. But I reckon if I hadn't had that, if I'd have had a full 120mm sleeve, it would have gone straight in. Like if the Bafang had had a straightforward sleeve on it, I believe it would have just slid through, no issues whatsoever. But yeah, so what I did, if you check out one of my videos, can't remember which one it is, but it's on this bike, and you'll see I got in there with an actual file, and I did it by hand because I wanted it done like good and keeping an eye on everything I was doing, so just took my time, did it slowly. But yeah, so that's how that went in. But yours should go in if you've got an all-in-one unit, as in the sleeve, that's this part here. If it's all in one piece, it should just slide in. But yeah, if you've got a join like me, then yeah, you'll have to mess around and manipulate a little bit. But if you're having problems, perhaps you haven't took your things off here, your bearings, you've got to unscrew them, one on this side, one on that side, which gives you a lot more space to slide it in. I can't remember what it turns it into. I think it's called a ABS, or not ABS, is it? A BSA. So it turns it into just a BSA fitting. So yeah, and the motor, well, any motor like similar to this should just slide in then with no issues whatsoever. But yeah, so but yeah, you know, like if you can't, just give me another shout and I'll hunt for the video myself just to show you how it was done. But yeah, like I said, I just used a hand foil with a rounded end and just went in steady and just done it. Just got it sorted out, like, you know. Sprayed a bit of oil in there every now and then as well, like, you know, it just picks up all the bits. And then I blew all the frame out, so I took all this off. I blew the frame down that way. I blew the frame in the holes up here that I had pre-drilled and different things, like, you know, just to get all the filings out, because they did end up all over the floor right here. But yeah, but that's the whole point of this carpet in this shed, is to make it, like, you know, so I can actually work down here, no issues, not like my old sheds. But yeah, so I think that is it for that question. But yeah, like I say, if you can't find it, give me a shout and I'll mosey on back through my own videos and I'll try and find it for you. But yeah, so that's that one. I had another one on the back wheel, the alignment, telling me about the alignment and all that sort of thing. And as you can see, I'm sort of in the middle of the gearbox and she's lovely and straight. But yeah, I had no issues there, but I knew I wasn't going to have issues with it as soon as I put it on. So perhaps in the video it looked like I did have an issue, but no, I never had an issue in the first place with it. And believe it or not, I didn't even have to tune the gears in. They just work, they're perfect. I haven't actually adjusted anything since I bolted it all back together. It's been absolutely, you know, fine, no issues whatsoever. Like I think the biggest issue I've had with the whole bike was I had a puncture this morning before I went for a ride on it. But other than that, no issues at all. So like all my testing days are done now with it, because everything's all working fine. Another question I had was about the seat post I'm using. Is it any good? Someone said. And it is the best that I have ever used for an under seat suspension. Obviously I'm using this version of seat as well, with springs in it, which makes it a little bit softer, and it's a nice, I think they call it a fat bum seat or something like that. But yeah, you can find these for about £8 on eBay. They're not expensive, £8 to £12 maybe, something like that. But as suspension goes, this is one of the best I've ever used. It is really nice, and now it's on all three of my bikes. It's on this one, it's on my Mongoose, and it's on my Trek. You know, and that's why I bought it for each bike, because it's just good, just really good, no issues with it. But yeah, so you know, that's it. Like, you know, like sometimes, like I think it was about a couple of bikes ago, I had like a cracking noise, and the crack sounded just like it was coming from the Bafang. It's like a clicky clank sort of noise, and I thought it was from the Bafang becoming loose or something like that. And I did all these adjustments on one of my Bafangs. It's in one of my old videos. You'll find it in there somewhere. And basically what it was this here making like a clicking noise, and it's going up through the framework and sort of coming up that area, like up at the top here area. So when you're riding, it sounds like it's coming from this half of the bike, not the back half. But yeah, all the time it was this. All I did was sprayed it with WD-40 and it just went away. Literally just went away. So what I do now, every now and then, if I get the noise, I'll just oil each point and then wipe it all off, you know, so the oil that you can't see is behind where the cracking or cricking noise is coming from. But other than that, it's like, you know, bloody fantastic piece of kit. But yeah, well chuffed with it. And yeah, and oh, someone thought I was putting this upside down, and I've been putting these on since I've had fat bikes, and I know 100% that's up the right way. Trust me, that is definitely up the right way. right? And as well, they thought I was fitting them to protect my clothes. They're not there to protect my clothes at all. It's so I can run through puddles, so that any water coming off the wheel would more likely, as long as I go through a puddle straight, it will hit this and come down here and dissipate. But yeah, and oh, there was another one as well. Someone asked me about the putting a cover on the motor. I don't put covers on my motors because they stay cooler like they are. You can put a cover on there if you don't want to, if you don't want the issue of smashing them. But to be fair, I haven't seen a lot of people smash them, so that really doesn't bother me at all. That issue there, like, But yeah, and just to let you know, I haven't put a throttle on here, and at the moment I haven't felt the need for one. They are a good thing, and apparently they're coming into law that you can have them now on an electric bike. But that bill hasn't been passed yet, I don't believe. And I think they're going to up the power to 500 watts, so I've heard. And what else I heard about it? There was something else. Like, none of it's proper yet anyway. It's just what I heard, like, Oh, and they might up the actual speed you can go. So, which really makes sense, because it don't make sense going 15 miles an hour. You can get people run past you faster than 15 miles an hour, especially around here where I live. But yeah, so, which is a bit of a stupid idea anyway. And to ban a front throttle is absolutely ridiculous, because if you've got a disabled person who can't, like, who want to have a bit of fun, it's their only way. If their legs are knackered or whatever, at least they'd be able to get on one, hit the throttle, and get out there and have a little ride, innit? Stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, like I said, that's all conjecture, because I don't really know the right ins and outs of that yet. It's just different things I've heard through the grapevine and stuff. But yeah, and but I think that's it. So yeah, fire your questions over, and what I'll do is from now on I'll actually keep them down somewhere, keep a note of them, and then do an updated video on answering questions, basically, just to keep you all up to date, and whatever you're asking me, really. Okay, anyway, look at that horrible big black cow out there. I was just thinking about going out for another ride. Anyway, I'm going to leave you here, and I'm going to say to you, stay safe out there and get out and ride.